Hello, this is Whitell again, coming to you from our playlist of Entrepreneurs Are Made Not Born. I hope you enjoyed the first one that we talked about the different qualities that an entrepreneur should have. By the way, I'm speaking to you today from England, and this is the city of Portsmouth. And if you look behind me, it's a beautiful scene of part of the great things that Portsmouth has to offer. So, just to recap a little bit about what we talked about the last time, I want to give you once again the list. And if you'd like an explanation of each one of those things on this list, then go back and watch our first one on Entrepreneurs Are Made Not Born, and you will find a short description of each one of these qualities that I believe are very important if you want to become an entrepreneur. So the first thing on our list was that you needed to be a risk taker. The second thing is a visionary. The next thing is you need to be passionate about what you do. Driven. You have to be driven to be an entrepreneur. Work ethic. You've got to have good work ethic. Creative. You should be creative if you're going to be an entrepreneur. Out of the box. I know you've heard that term a lot, but if you want to be a great entrepreneur, you've got to think outside of that box. Determined. I can't say enough about determination, and if you go back and watch the first one when we talked about determined, you'll see how passionate I really am about determination. Courageous. I tell you, you've got to have courage to be able to do this because it is a long and hard road to be an entrepreneur. Motivated. Hey, I have learned in this life that if you can't motivate yourself, then it's going to be very difficult for those of us to motivate you as well. You know, I didn't say this in the first one, but I am just going to add a little bit to this word motivation, which means that it's kind of like when your car, the battery dies, and people push that car, you know, to give you, that's what at least they used to do. Back with the stick shifts or the standard cars where the gearbox, where you shifted gears. You'd put that thing in neutral, people would push you down the hill, and suddenly it would kick into gear. But sometimes when you came to the stop, it would die again. And that's the way I feel about people who do not motivate themselves. I mean, you know, we can motivate you, we push you, we tell you how much you need to do this, and then once you run out of gas and you don't have us around anymore, then you're right back down at the bottom again. So you know what? Excuse me, you must have motivation. You must motivate yourself. We cannot do that for you 24/7. Learner. You've got to be a learner. You've got to be able to learn new things, and most of all, a maverick. You've got to be able to be that person that steps out on a limb and is willing to do that. Now, that's the list that I spoke about in the beginning. I want to give you what the True Dictionary says about what an entrepreneur really is. An entrepreneur is someone who organizes, operates, and assumes the risk for a venture. So you see, when you become an entrepreneur, you are the person that is actually stepping out and saying, I am willing to learn and do what it takes because I want to be that person that takes on this new business and takes it somewhere. There's been a lot of discussion about whether or not an entrepreneur can also be that person that takes on a franchise. There is several pros and cons about that, but I do want you to know that if you're an entrepreneur that has your own idea, then power to you. I think that is awesome and even more courageous of you than most entrepreneurs. But if you are an entrepreneur that really cannot come up with any great ideas, but you know what you're passionate about and you happen to find a franchise that you're able to invest in, then of course you're still considered an entrepreneur because you're a person that is able to take on and assume the risk just like this definition says. You're able to operate it and assume the risk for that venture. And you know, don't overstep what you can get yourself involved in to invest. And I'm not going to extend about that today and talking about franchises, but I do want you to know that an entrepreneur can either be a person that has their own idea and invents their own type of business, or it can be a person that considers it best to invest in some type of franchise. Above all, I want to finish today by telling you this. When you are an entrepreneur, you are it. Which means, it's a quote that just recently I put on our Facebook of I Need Mentoring, and that is, you are the problem, but the good news is you are the solution. You see, you're the problem because it is your venture, it's your business, it's you that's taking the risk for it. So remember your team and everything that we're going to talk about what you're going to build in order to have a successful business. It takes you to be able to do that, and they take on your personality. Hey, you know what they say? If you have children and you want to know what you're like, look at your kids. So if you want to have a winning team and a great successful business, just take a look at your team and see what they're acting like. And ask yourself, is this what I have conveyed to my team? So the great news is you're the problem, but you're also the solution. So if you've taken a wrong turn and you've made a mistake, you are the one that can correct it and get it back on track. You know, I want to just say finally that I Need Mentoring is about helping young people become that person and fulfill that purpose in their life. Every one of you have a purpose. Everybody that is listening to this video and watching it right now, I want you to know you have a purpose. You may not have discovered what that purpose is, but you definitely have a purpose. I Need Mentoring is about helping you find that purpose, and if we get that far with you, even taking you to the point that we can connect you to what that purpose is. So I hope that you'll keep on and subscribe again to Entrepreneurs Are Made, Not Born, and be a part of this playlist on YouTube. Remember, we're on Facebook of I Need Mentoring. You can find us on the web at ineedmentoring.com. And if you have any questions, please write us at information@ineedmentoring.com. This is Wynell signing off from England. Entrepreneurs are made, not born.